Okay, the next one. I know you'll be excited about this. Our NFC North. Green Bay, reloaded. New look Chicago Bears staff. Detroit Lions surviving staff poaching and recovering from injury. And Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy? Question mark. What do you see from the NFC North next year? Obviously, we talked about the Bears. So give me a little look in to your Packers. We can talk a little bit of Vikings too and Lions at the end.
Well, here's the crazy thing. The Lions still have $46 million cap space right now. That's why you build through the draft, right? The way they did. That's why it's so important to do so, because all their top players pretty much outside of Jared Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown right now are very cheap. And the thing is, even when you draft guys, people think it's the rookie contract. It's not really. It's the rookie contract and then a couple more years, because you can kind of buy yourself with that signing bonus and how you prorate it. You could buy yourself a cheap 5th year on a 4-year deal, a cheap 6th year on a 5-year deal after the 5-year rookie contract, that it really extends out farther than that, your window of how you can basically time the money to keep that cheap talent around. So the Lions are in a really good spot. I still think it is their division to lose, even with the losses they have, just because they're the most talented team. They're the most talented team. That roster is insane with what Brad Holmes built there. So the crazy thing is, all of those rosters are insane. If we're putting together, and we'll obviously see what the Bears do this offseason, but I think there's a very good chance we're rolling into week 1 saying these are 4 of the 10 best rosters in the NFL. I think there's a very good chance. I think at least Vikings, Packers, Lions are 3 of the top 10 rosters. That was the case this past year. But the Bears have a very good shot with the top 10 pick. And, with the cap situation they're in, it's possible. $62 million cap space. They can make some serious plays this offseason, especially along that offensive line. NFC North, I have no handle on where it's going to go next year, because all 4 of those teams could very easily win it.
Yeah, that's the big question mark for me. Obviously, bring Ben Johnson in. And we were talking about Kellen Moore going to the Saints, and I was joking, can he bring every single one of his players with him? Obviously, he can't. Ben Johnson, same jokes have been made. Can Penei Sewell lead block? Well, we got Darnell Wright.
Yeah.
But I'm curious and obviously optimistic about his ability to have an explosive, dominant, in-rhythm offense without those superstars that obviously we've alluded to so many times in Detroit on the offensive side of the ball.
I don't know if they're receiving. Now, I think the receiving core this past year with Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, obviously I think it's better than Chicago, right? But I don't think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is necessarily that much better, that much more dynamic than a Rome Odunze if they put him in the same role. It's more just like those guys were in. Ben Johnson finds the roles that those guys excel in. He will find the role that Rome Odunze will excel in. He'll find the role that DJ Moore will excel in. Now, you need some more complementary pieces. I don't think Cole Kmet's nearly as dynamic, right, as Sam Laporta. He's much more of a possession sort of tight end, and you probably need some speed in that receiving room at this point with what they have. Just maybe more of like a pure vertical threat that they want Velus Jones to be for so long. But so you need some pieces, but they will look better when they're put in the right spot, right? Or when the offense has some cohesion to it. So I don't think, and even Darnell Wright, like Penei Sewell is amazing. I'm not like saying he's a product of the system, but he gets put into, down blocking against guys who have no clue what's coming a good portion of the time. And that's his bread and butter. That would be Darnell Wright's bread and butter. If
Darnell Wright is such a freak.
And
if they can figure out how to utilize the weapons that they do have, it can be scary. But, I have a lot of concerns when looking at that film of Caleb Williams under fire. Now, a lot of that is due to holding on to the football. Quarterback is more often than not responsible for the sack, in my opinion. So they're going to figure out a way to get that marriage between Caleb's sense of urgency in terms of getting the football out and protecting their young quarterback, their young franchise.
Yeah, it's a problem that I would trust Ben Johnson to solve, though. Right. If anyone, like there's I would trust him more so than anyone. So if it doesn't work with him and what they got offensively and what they'll have with their offensive line, well, then I think then you have your answer, unfortunately.